Hi everybody, so Tom again from First in Events, and following a request on one of our videos on the YouTube channel, what I'm going to talk about today is preparation of your map for use on the hills. Right then, so first thing I'm going to talk about is how the map comes and what I initially do with the map when I receive it or when I buy it. So this is how a normal 1 in 50,000 Ordnance Survey map will arrive from the shop, or if you buy it from the shop. As you can see, it comes with this sort of like cardboard cover on it that just basically keeps it in good order, and what it's got is a lot of the information about the map. So it's got the map title and stuff on the front, and then on the back of it, it shows you where it is with its map number in relation to all the maps around it, which is quite handy. So if you wanted to go, further west, north, or whatever direction, then you've got the relevant map alongside that you could buy. Okay. Now these covers, they're all very nice and stuff, look very pretty, but when you're actually using them in a field, they're a pain in the backside, because when you start folding them, obviously this paper is going to fold okay, but the cardboard is a total pain in the backside. So what I do with these is I carefully take them off. They're kind of glued along the edge, along here. Carefully take them off, and I just keep these in a box alongside the maps, but not actually still attached to the map. So actually when I come to use these, they're not getting in the way of when you fold them and stuff. Another thing that's on the inside of the cardboard sleeve then is on the modern maps here, you've got this little scratch off code here, and it enables you to download the map onto a device. Okay, right, so that's how the map comes in. Whenever you've got a map, you should never mark it in any way. You definitely don't write on it with any pens or anything like that. The only thing that is acceptable when you're marking it is if you're doing a resection. So if you're trying to find your location using bearings onto other locations, you can use pencil. But obviously what you want to do is once you've found your location, once you've finished doing exercise, you want to be rubbing it off and not leaving that marked on your map. Okay. One thing that I do though, going back on that a little bit, is something I picked up in the military, is on some of the maps I use, I may highlight the easterns and northerns. You can probably see on there a little bit, the bright yellow highlighted easterns and northerns. And what that does is it just helps bring your eye onto those easterns and northerns when you're out on the ground. Particularly, if you're under a bit of stress, if the weather's a bit poor, maybe low light conditions, stuff like that. And also what it does is if it's in an area that's fairly complex, so if it's in a wooded area, an urban area, something like that, it helps bring your eye onto what the actual figures are there, rather than you trying to search around, because those numbers are actually written in blue, and some of the, obviously things like streams and stuff are in blue, and then you've got the forestry blocks in green that can actually, it can get a little bit confused in there. Okay, so that's the only thing that I'll do, marking the map wise, and all that does is it just helps you get your grid references a little bit easier. If you compare that to this one here that I haven't marked, you'll probably see the difference there. Okay, same sort of area. Okay then, so talking about map cases, the only map case personally that I would ever use is an Ortlieb map case. Okay, so that's this type here, and there's different sizes and stuff. I find these map cases great. They're made of like a rubberized sort of flexible material that doesn't go hard, it doesn't crack, and it's pretty tough. They've got a roll top feature like the old dry bags, and what happens is, that gives you 100% waterproof seal when it's in your pocket or in your jacket or whatever. They also come with a little hole at the top there that you can attach a lanyard to, which I think again is very important, so you can secure it to your clothing so on a windy day it doesn't get blown away off the side of a hill. Another thing you can do with the lanyard then is attach one of these small little carabiner things. Okay, and then if you change jackets, so if this map was in your jacket and it started raining and you wanted to put a waterproof jacket on, you could quickly unhook this from your kit and attach it to a point within another item of clothing that you're going to be wearing. So instead of it just being tied on, it's got a hook there where you can quickly take it off and put it into something else. All right. There are, as I said, different sizes of these map cases, loads of different sizes. Here's two different sizes here. So this one here is an A4 size. This one here is more of a like square size. I do find that the A4 size is the best one for use personally, because on a 1 of 50,000 size map, it actually covers quite a bit of ground within that area, and I'll show that in a bit. But what it does do is it enables you to kind of fold it up to a relatively decent size to be able to fit into a pocket or under your jacket or whatever. Alright. Okay, then what I'm going to talk about next is actually folding your map into your map case, okay? Because that was the question that was actually asked in one of the videos. So, before you get out to the area where you're going to be walking, when you're doing your prior preparation and planning, all the good stuff, make sure that you identify what area you want to be walking on. Make sure you've got a route planned, and then what you want to do from your planning, is fold the area of a map that's relevant to where you're going, and so you've got that area covered in your map case. Okay, now I'm going to be showing you this on a 1 of 50,000 map. It doesn't matter what scale map it is, but obviously it'll be relevant to your area. So what you want to be doing first then is identifying the area. So the area I'm going to be concentrating on will be the central Brecon Beacons area here then, because that's one that obviously we use quite a bit there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for that area there. I'm going to make sure I know my route, and then I'm going to basically lay over the map case that I'm going to be using over the area. So the area that I want to cover is going to be around about here in the centre. That's the centre point of my sort of route there. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to identify the map folds that are relevant to that area and that are going to fit within the map sheet. Okay, so then what I'm going to do is start folding it. So I've identified it's going to be around about here to around about here on the map. Make a mental note of the numbers. So I'm going to start folding it. And this needs to be done on a flat surface. Okay, if you try doing this when you're out on the ground, it's very, very difficult, especially if it's a bit windy. Your map's going to get blown all over the place. So do this before you set off. Okay, and what I've done there is I've folded it approximately to the height of the map case. You can see I've got a little bit of space there. That's fine. I've got probably about 1 inch at the top there, but I know I've covered the whole area that I need. So what I'm going to do now then is measure it sort of east to west. So there's the area that I'm going to be using. So I've identified that grid line there, give it a fold, and then the one on the far side I reckon is about there, and then I'm just going to fold it in. So what I can do now then is kind of fold the rest of it behind it, and what I can also do at this stage is identify whether I want sort of east or west, or north or south on the back side of my map. So what I'm planning on this one is I want sort of east to west. So I reckon this area here, I may go into that area if I'm feeling adventurous, or that might just be more relevant, you know, for peaks, stuff like that, places where I can identify out in the features and stuff in the distance. So what I'm going to do from there then is just fold this bit in, because I want this on the back side of my map case. I'm going to fold that over, and then neat as I possibly can, just fold the rest over. So what I've got is the central Brecon Beacons there, folded to the size of my map case, and then when I turn it over, that's the other side, so that's west of where I'm going to be going. Alright, so I'm going to fold that nice and flat, and because this is map that I've used loads of times, then it's folding easier than it would do if it was a brand new map, but it's all just, you know, laying it out and folding it basically. So once I've got that to the right size and area, one thing I do need to make sure I've got is the easterns and northings actually within the section that I'm using. If I'd folded that, say there, along this line, I wouldn't have the northings, would I? So when I come to make a grid reference, trying to look at my grid references, I wouldn't be able to see it. So I need to make sure when I'm folding it that I've got the northings and the easterns covered in the section that I'm using. So I'm going to get my map case ready. I'm just going to stick my hand in it, make sure that it's not stuck together. Sometimes stick together with a bit of moisture, and then I'm just going to gently feed that into the map case. Okay, so that's it in now, nice and neat. On this type of map case then, because they are 100% waterproof, They can be a little bit of a pain initially because you need to get all the air out of them. Otherwise it's going to be like an airbag in your pocket, alright? So what I'm going to do is just lay it down, squish the air out, like so. Totally get all that air out of it. And then I'm going to do the roll top feature at the top and do the Velcro up. Okay, at this stage you may still have a little bit of air once you've done it in, but then all you need to do is kind of pop the corner a little bit like this, squeeze it out again, and then just do that corner back up. And what you need to do is try and get this sort of result at the end where it's totally flat and there's no air inside your map case, okay? So when you fold this up and put it in your pocket, like so, like I say, that is a nice sort of size to fit in a normal army issue trousers map pocket, or some of the pockets on jackets and stuff you get. That will fit nicely and it's not blown up, it's not expanded by the air that could get trapped inside it. And that is basically it, guys. So what we've got is the area that we're going to cover for our day's tabbing, or whatever you want to call it, hiking. You've got all the northings and eastings actually within the map, and as you can see on that one, as I mentioned before, they're highlighted as well, so you can actually, your eyes get drawn to them nice and easily, and it's not difficult. You're not making things hard for yourself when you're already, you know, tired or whatever on the hill. And that's good to go. So that'd be 100% waterproof. It's got a lanyard on it. It's got the carabiner on it ready to go to attach to my my clothing, wherever that might be. And that's it, good to go. Okay, so that's me finished talking about map preparation, map care. I hope that's been of use to some of you out there. Only basic stuff, but I'm sure some of those things might become, you know, useful to some of you that you can put into your preparation before you go on the hills. So hopefully see some of you on the hills soon, and if you've liked what you've seen today, or if you found any of it interesting or informative, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. And don't forget, keep low and move fast.